Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ayu Fitrianise. I am as the second author here. So the first author is Mr. Cahyo Hasanudin, and then the third is Joko Setiono, and the last one is Novia Fitriana. So we would like to present about our research entitled Project-Based Learning using digital comics to improve writing skill of experimental report text. There are two findings that we find in this research. The first is the form of project-based learning using digital comics. So this project-based learning using digital comics is used to improve students' writing skill of experimental report text, especially in the 9th grade. Now, it modifies the syntax that ever carried out by Umar in 2016, which consists of pre-project, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 6, and the last is post-project. In phase 1, it consists of identifying problems. In phase 2, it consists of designing and projecting implementation schedule. In phase 3, it consists of conducting research. In phase 4, it consists of developing a product draft or prototype. In phase 5, it measures, assess, and improve project. In phase 6, finalization and publication, and the last one is post-project. We can see that in the left side, this is the project-based learning based on Umar, and then the right side is the project-based learning using digital comics. So these syntax are developed by the researchers. In pre-project, in this step, the researchers prepare the digital comics to help students to understand the project that will be made. The digital comics created are related to the experimental report text material. The researchers create digital comics about making color disc. In addition, the researchers also confirm to prepare a report on the result of a systematic experiment in making color disc. In phase 1, identifying problems. In this step, the students make observation in the sun outside the open space. Based on the observation result, they have to identify and formulate the problems. In phase 2, designing and projecting implementation schedule. By observing the digital comic, students can design the color disc designed to answer the problem formulation. So in this step, they also make a schedule for the implementation of the design and the division of their respective tasks. In phase 3, conducting research. At this stage, students collect the data about rays produced by the sun and analyze and can read the material on digital comics. Based on the data, the students can begin to plan products to prove that light actually appears in the sun. In phase 4, develop a project draft or prototype. In this step, the students begin to design product draft or prototypes that can be seen on the digital comics. Drafting is not out of the formulation of the problem created. The next step is phase 5, measure, assess, and improve project. In this step, students assess and see the product that has been made, whether there is anything that needs to be improved by paying attention to the step in the digital comics or not. After reviewing the product made, they also need to show the product to their peers to review it. In phase 6, finalization and publication, in this step, students can do a final check on the shortage of products that have been made. After that, they can present the products made in front of the class. So those are the syntax. Now, we can see that this figure tells us about the digital comics, about making color discs. So the students will read this digital comics. The second finding is the improvement of writing skill in experimental report text on project-based learning using digital comics. In pre-action, there are still many 9th grade students who get score under the passing grade. Based on the score obtained, it can be determined that the presentation of students' completeness in writing experimental report text in pre-action, there are 16 students who get the passing grade scores. So in other words, there is 32% of them. In cycle 1, after the researchers implement project-based learning using digital comics, the mean grade student scores on writing tests are improved. This increase can be seen from the students' completeness in writing tests. There are 29 students who have completed it. So in other words, there are 58% of them who pass the passing grade. In cycle 2, after the researchers evaluate the shortcoming of project-based learning using digital comics in cycle 1, the researchers implement better digital comics. So after the end of the class, the students' score are improved better than in cycle 1. So this increase can be seen from their mastery in writing experimental reports. There are 44 students who complete or pass the passing grade. So it means 88% of them have passed the passing grade. Now this diagram tells us about the diagram of success in writing experimental report text. Start from the pre-action, and then in cycle 1 and also cycle 2, we can see there is improvement here, the significant improvement. Start from 32% and then 58%, and the last one is 88%. So based on the findings, we can conclude in this study, the first, to implement project-based learning using digital comics, the researchers apply learning syntax, starting from pre-project, thesis, and then post-project. And the second one, the improvement of writing skill of experimental report text in the mean grade students is classically started from pre-action as much as 32%, and then in cycle 1 as much as 58%, and cycle 2 as much as 88%. Although the class completeness has not yet reached 100%, the project-based learning using digital comics is truly can improve the writing skill of experimental report text in the main grade students. Well, I think that's all our presentation. Thank you very much. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.